Dragon Age 2 is probably one of the games I'm looking forward to the most in 2011. And I played Origins through 4 times, including beating all of the Origin stories, some of them more than once. Now I know a lot of you out there didn't like the graphics, but that didn't stop me from enjoying myself more than I have in any other video game in a long time. Other than Uncharted 2, but that's not the topic of discussion today. So when I got the chance to sit down and get my hands on Dragon Age 2, I was filled with excitement, concerns, and of course questions. Here's a little background on Dragon Age 2, just in case you haven't been following it as closely as I have. You're going to be playing a predetermined character named Hawke. Now whether Hawke is a male or female is completely up to you, and also Hawke's class is going to be completely up to you. But he will, or she, will be human. Now I had money on the fact that Hawke was going to be the unborn child that Morrigan ran away with at the end of Dragon Age 1. But that notion was quickly shot down when I found out the story of Dragon Age 2 actually overlaps the story of Dragon Age Origins. Where Origins only spanned over 1 year, Dragon Age 2's story will be spanning over 10 years. One of the things I noticed right away with Dragon Age 2 is all of you who did complain about the graphics in Origins, your voices were heard. The graphics in Dragon Age 2 are huge steps above those that we saw in the original. Now the HUD seemed a lot larger than it was in the original. It dominated most of the screen, which I found extremely distracting, but the controls were much more intuitive and combat felt much more interactive. My biggest worry was confirmed though. I went into the demo just hoping and praying they weren't going to mention wanting to emulate or copy Mass Effect 2. I'm not saying Mass Effect 2 is a bad game. What I think is that the RPG elements were watered down and simplified in Mass Effect 2 than they were in the first one. So I didn't want to see Dragon Age follow down the same path. So of course I cringed when I heard them say, well, we wanted to take more of a route that from Mass Effect 2 in reference to the dialogue trees. Instead of word-for-word options and responses in the dialogue trees and conversations like in Dragon Age Origins, they're going to go with more of a keyword effect, and the keyword will give you a simplified idea of what your character is going to say. And if that wasn't enough, they're also going to add little cute icons, so that if you don't want to have to think about what your character is going to say, the icon will represent what that response will be, like a red fist for aggressive, or a halo for nice, and so forth. I don't know about you, but I think that kind of takes away from the whole experience, and it makes the dialogue seem more lazy than actually thinking about what my character is going to say and how the other NPC is going to react to what my character just said. Now I'm just going to hit little icons, cute little icons, to decide how my character is going to respond. Now I know a lot of you out there are actually going to like that whole new aspect to the conversations. But in my opinion, I think it takes a huge bite out of what makes an RPG an RPG. And it definitely takes a chunk out of what made Dragon Age Dragon Age. Now it's going to be a lot more simplified. I don't want to be told what a nice response is or be told what an aggressive response is. I want to make that decision myself. I want to read from the options and decide what I would respond to and how I would respond. I don't want to just pick a color code. I feel like another huge knife in the back to the Dragon Age series was their decision to take a lot of the dialogue decisions and options out and make the game more cinematic. Now, cinematics don't make me feel immersed or emotionally invested in a game. It's my interactions with other characters that do that. And I thought Origins was a game that did that better than any other game I'd played. I felt, emotionally attached to these characters in Origins, and I wanted to get to know them better, and I wanted to make them happy and see what they wanted to do. And by taking all that away and trying to give Hawke more of an independent voice, I don't know, it makes me feel like they're taking a lot out of what makes Dragon Age, and that Dragon Age 2 might just fall through the cracks to me and become like another fantasy action adventure game than this emotional ride that I created through dialogue options that Dragon Age Origins was for me. So overall, yes, I am so very excited for Dragon Age 2. I mean, it's Dragon Age after all. But the more I see of it, the more I worry that Dragon Age 2 will become a more simplified version of Dragon Age Origins, and it will only carry glimpses and references to how awesome Origins was. Dragon Age Origins was named RPG of the Year for a reason, and I'm not seeing the things that made it RPG of the Year, I'm not seeing those in Dragon Age 2 so far from what I've seen, and that worries me. That worries me a lot, because Origins made a huge impact on almost everybody that played it. I haven't heard a bad thing about Origins from anybody. Everybody I know that's played it loved it just as much as I did. So obviously that game impacted us a lot. And I'm not seeing that same passion behind it. I'm not seeing that same interaction in Dragon Age 2 so far. But let's hope I'm completely wrong with this. Let's hope that Dragon Age 2 is just as good, if not better, than Dragon Age Origins. I'm just a little worried. You know, I'm getting more disappointed the more I see it instead of more excited, which it should be the other way around. Especially for my most anticipated game of 2011, I should be getting more excited every time I see it, but I'm not. So that in itself worries me. But I know my Dragon Age fans are out there, so I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think? So far from what you've seen of Dragon Age 2, are you excited? Are you getting a little worried like I am? What do you think about their decision to take out of a lot of the dialogue decisions and make the game more cinematic instead? Do you like that? Do you not like that? You know, guys, let me know what you guys are thinking so far. And as always, thanks for watching.